Well, it's over. Good news. The government shutdown appears to be finishing, and the government's going to open up potentially today, maybe tomorrow. That's really exciting because that means liquidity is about to start flowing back into the market, baby. Let's go. Good stuff. We got that story. We got Bitcoin charts, macro charts, altcoin charts. It's going to be a good time. You better stick around. Answer your questions. Second half of the streams. Make sure to stay around for that as well. So let's go. The numbers, Zach, the numbers are green. They are. It's a good day. Green number. We all like green numbers. Remember somebody saying one time that you should just flip the Kellers, on your trading view to turn the bearish charts into green and the bullish charts into red. Screw with your brain. Make it see that red days can actually be bullish. Anyway, besides the point. Michael Saylor posted this 2 days ago. Said, buy now. Somebody got the phone call that a deal was going to be made, didn't he? He did. He did. Peter Schiff down here saying, no thanks. Wait for this tragedy to go bankrupt first. Boo. Boo, Peter. Boo. Serious news. The Senate has reached a bipartisan deal to end the U.S. government shutdown, 60-40 vote. We had 10 Democratic senators go over to the voting side. It's great news. It's great news. Everything's going to go back to normal in America. Flights are going to be normal. Government workers are going to go back to work. People would have their paychecks so they can blast it into dog coins. All the good times are going to come. Now, most importantly for us, there's currently $1 trillion sitting in the Treasury General account. Now the government's going to be opening back up. All those banks, remember we talked about the banks are starting to show cracks in the system and stuff like that. They can just come in there and take all the liquidity they want, baby. Also, stimmy checks. Yeah, don't bury the lead. Yeah, I agree. Also, stimmy checks. We have to think about maybe the next slide here. Almost, but we'll get to that in just a second. U.S. government shutdown is about to end. Chain mind here, putting that up here. So check this out. Last time it happened, you can go all the way back. Last time it happened, Bitcoin skyrocketed. Alts fall by 5,450, whatever percent, 5,000 plus percent. Now, is that guaranteed what's going to happen this time? No, we don't. Only assist deals and absolutes, guys, okay? But anyway, this is very interesting. You can see last time I went from 4K to whatever the heck it went to. Big move, okay? But it was a huge move in 2019 for the crypto market, okay? Bitcoin went from 4K to 14K or something like that in a very, very short amount of time, okay? So let's see what happens this time. We have the others BTC chart and stuff like that are also looking absolutely primed. We'll talk about those in a few minutes. Also this, President Trump announced $2,000 tariff dividends we paid out to Americans, potentially excluding high net worth individuals and people who don't pay taxes. So that's interesting, isn't it? Rate cuts, record highs, AI stimulus checks. They're running the same playbook again, guys. They're cutting the interest rates. They're going to send out the stimmy checks. People are going to take their $2,000, blast it straight to dog coins or options and whatever. Somewhere it's going to end up in the financial markets, okay? You know it will. So people could do responsible shit like pay off their credit cards. Nah, man, they're going to buy Dogecoin. So Weimar says Trump is considering 3 ways to give $1,000 directly to people. U.S. tariff profits for citizens. That's a big move, man. That's just, as long as the Supreme Court doesn't smack down his tariffs, that's a big move because basically it's going to say to people like, yeah, we did the whole tariff thing. We got all these insane trade deals. I got trillions of dollars of direct investments into America. He's basically the salesman number one of America right now. And look at Trump versus Biden, right? Trump goes around, every time he flies to a foreign country, he comes back with a few $1 trillion worth of investments. I love the man or hate the man. That's damn impressive. Biden didn't even know where it was half the time, let alone getting trillions of dollars of investments into America. Tax refunds, cancel Obamacare, redirect funds to the public. Now, I don't know if that's going to come to fruition. The Democrats were saying, we got to keep the Obamacare stuff funded. And the Republicans are saying, no, but why don't we just give the money to people instead? They're like, oh, shit, don't do that. Quick, let's make a deal. And the government shut down. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, a lot of money potentially flooding into the system from various places. Deutsche Bank expects the Fed to start growing its balance sheet in Q1. That's a big call, man. That's a big freaking call. If the Fed starts QE, growing its balance sheet, they may not call it QE. They'll probably call it some variety of technical adjustments. But holy crap, if that actually starts, if Deutsche Bank is right, and we're 2 to 3 months away from QE starting, That's crazy. Plus, QE starts in, let's say, March. And in May, you get a new Fed chief who is basically going to be the guy who's going to lower interest rates to 1%. Now, that's crazy shit, okay? Andre posted this, Feds Williams expects central bank return to asset purchases soon. Guys. Okay, so that's all really big. The macro scene, really big, really exciting. Lots of good stuff coming our way. Lots of good news. Of course, stocks, as usual, absolutely loving the good news. Stocks, man. What a great invention by humanity. Anyway, S&P 500 futures up almost 1% today. NASDAQ futures absolutely ripping, up 1.5% so far. Markets will open up in about 3.5 hours time from now. Now, look at this crazy chart. Now, remember, Pepperidge Farm remembers. Look, back here, around this point, I was saying, look, guys, the NASDAQ could go back down to retouch 50-day EMA, which is done multiple times throughout this entire move up here, okay? Be totally cool and normal. It would be totally cool and normal. Well, look what the heck happened on Friday. We got it, man. We got our dip down, actually just below the 50-day EMA, wicked just under it before pulling back up a little bit. Pre-markets are showing that we're going to get back above the 20-day EMA here, which is 25,529 is what we're showing at here currently. So we're actually about there, according to pre-market prices right now. So stocks are ready to absolutely rip today based on the news of the government shutdown ending. Good. What a retest, man. We get retests. It happens. The show goes on for now anyway. Polaris posted this. BTC and Bitfinex longs. Bitcoin whales on Bitfinex keep piling into longs. They have been gobbling heavy, man. Gobbling real heavy. Crypto Crib. Bitcoin bubble index. Historically, prices always topped out when this reached 139 or above. You can see previous cycles, okay, right here. See the bubble index smashing up. You can see the price smashing up. This is where we are right now. You see all the way down here. This is where we are with the price as it is right now. There has been no bubble in Bitcoin. There has been no bubble in crypto. And I know what you're thinking. Well, there's never going to be a bubble in crypto again. There's never going to be a bubble in Bitcoin again. Prices are never going to go parabolic again. I have given up all hope. I believe in nothing. I get it. This cycle's just been a nonstop, just kicking the nuts. You guys ever see those videos of like that karate dude just standing there like, yeah, well, some dude's like kicks him in the nuts nonstop. That's been this cycle. We're the guys getting kicked in the nuts. It has not been a good time, okay? But we persist. We keep going. Look at this. Oh, the weekly close was good. Fantastic. Look at this. 50-week EMA, $101,000. Remember what we're saying all of last week, guys, you got to watch for the weekly close. The weekly close has got to be strong. Okay? My kind of worries that government shutdown may not get resolved over the weekend. We might see this like really lame close where it's like, $100,000, it's like $1,000 below the 50-week EMA. Everybody's like, crap. Anyway, besides the point. This is pretty good. This is constructive. We like this. Bounced. You can see here, support line on the weekly. Came right back down to that critical line. Bounced here off the 50-week EMA. We like to see that. Now, daily charts, a little bit more of a mixed picture. I'm going to be honest about that, okay? Where are we at right now? I don't want to pour any sort of water on the fire, just a simple recognition of what's happening in the charts right now. So look at this. 20-day EMA, $107,000. 200-day EMA, $108,000. 50-day EMA, $110,000. Those are three very logical places for fat, big old rejections, okay? Or major breakouts. So if we're going to see the breakouts happen, here's what we want to see. We want to see the price put a solid daily candle over the 20-day EMA, okay? That's what you want to see. A nice close right there. $108,000, something like that. It's going to be nice. All right. A lot of areas of potential rejection coming up here, but also a lot of potential breakout forming up, which is also good. You can see the short-term downtrend line here. We just put it on the candle closes. It gets a little more touch points. So we're coming up to that as well. And say approximately, if we count the candle bodies, not the wicks. I usually do the wicks, to be honest. Wicks actually put us with no breakout until we take out the 50-day EMA at $110,000. If you want to go a little more aggressive on your view here, the 20-day EMA is going to be a major breakout point. But we got to close above it. If you're going to get rejected, you're going to get rejected here now, okay? All YouTubers now just predict both directions. Lol, what a joke community. Well, look, I try to give you guys scenarios, okay? I do not know the future. You do not know the future either. And anybody claiming that they have a definitive view on the future is telling you bullshit, okay? What do we look at? We look at probabilities, okay? Look at trading crypto as something kind of like poker, okay? You're not always going to get dealt the best hand. Sometimes you need to fold your cards. Sometimes you're going to get dealt a good hand, but the other player is going to have a better hand. You have to look at the statistical probabilities of what your success rate is going to be, okay? No one to hold them, no one to fold them, right? Stuff like that. If you kind of switch your mentality to looking at markets like that, you may end up doing a lot better. That's why we talk about probabilities, not definitively like everything is going to specifically work out if it exactly works out like this, okay? This is the thing. This is our line to watch out. 20-day EMA. If we get rejected at this line, no bueno. If we break out here, it could be pretty significant. Now, as you guys know, I am long. I have been long, okay? I took a pretty ballsy long right around here after I saw this, basically what I considered probably to be the local bottom, okay, based on the 4-hour RSI being oversold and the other reasons we went over last week, put in along with the stop loss just under the daily lows here on the 4th and 5th of November. So far, so good. So far, so good. Let's see how it goes, guys. But yeah, not doing too bad so far on this. That's nice. $8,000 in unrealized profits. Oh, I might move this up to, especially if we break down the 20-day EMA, I'll move it up to a break even on the stop loss. So worst case scenario, some bullshit happens in the market. I don't lose a bunch of money on this because it had a pretty generous stop loss, which would be a pretty big loss, let's say, you know, relatively. I keep it all in relative perspective, but I'd prefer not to take the loss versus, you know, breaking even off. But I need to look at a little more distance between the break even price of around $101,800 right now. Okay. By the way, if you want to join trading over on BitUnix, never been a better time to do it. Link down below. Okay. Check it out. Anyone, anywhere can trade on BitUnix. That's you. Long the rips, short the dips. Have a good time. You can trade the big coins. They got deep liquidity. You can trade all kinds of exotic altcoins. And here's the deal. When you sign up using this link right down here, you can get some crazy deposit bonuses. $1,000 gets you $200, 2,000 gets you 400, 5,000 gets you 700, all the way up to some insane whale bonus here. Look at this. 20,000 gets you 2,000, 50,000 gets you 5,000, put in $100,000, some crazy money. Okay, I know some of you guys are out there sitting on big trading accounts. Well, this is a chance to get $10,000 back. That's crazy, man. Links down below. Very limited, very, very limited time offer. Actually, it runs out at the end of this week. So now is the time to hop on board if you want to get into it, okay? Link down below. So another chart here from Polaris. Many things pointing that this is a local bottom here for altcoins, okay? Sentiment, risk metric, 20 out of 100. Open interest completely wiped out. Bitcoin longs building up. Bitcoin dominance making lower high most likely. And this chart right here. Interesting. Altcoins versus stablecoin market cap. Love it. Another one here. Altcoin risk seems to be the overall consensus is that we're at the beginning of the bear market. My entire timeline is bearish. Quite a few big accounts completely given up on altcoins. So publicly stating they've converted them into Bitcoin with Bitcoin dominance sitting at 60%. This sentiment aligns perfectly with our sentiment readings, which are hovering around 20 out of 100. All it makes me believe that buys on altcoins here are now an incredible opportunity. Good. Good. I know what you're thinking. Buying altcoins, who the hell's got any money left? Yeah, I know. I know, guys. Ether National posted this. The others BTC ratio has retouched the same demand zone where the 2021 bull run began. Here, wick down, right? Momentum and disbelief are at historic lows. Once the chart's recovery begins, it'll drive waves of expansion for altcoins. Okay? Plus, look at that MACD, man. Look at that MACD. Come on, guys. The last time we had a MACD bullish crossover, like the one we're about to have, was back in 2020. Followed by which was basically a year and a half of altcoin season. Just FYI. Psychedelics with a total 3 versus Ethereum chart. Because everyone's screaming bear market and how it's over and how you should be looking to exit all your positions on the dead cat bounce for the 4 years of death, when a total 3 ETH is at the exact same position it was right before the 2021 period of altcoin outperformance. Make of it what you will. It's like I always say about markets, guys. Some of you guys come and you're like, oh, stress the fuck out. Like, oh, Lark, what's going on? Remember, it's always a choice to be here. It's a choice to be here. You choose to show up and invest in the world's most volatile asset class. And then when it's volatile, you get freaked out. It's crazy sometimes. Don't worry. I'm here too. And even after years of seeing all the crazy bullshit in the market, I still sometimes am like, damn, we did that. Holy shit. Anyway, perspective, guys. There's hope for my Bitmine stocks yet. By the way, if you guys ever want to see what crypto I hold, what stocks I hold, there's a link down below. You can go check it out. That's my portfolio disclosures. All my current positions are there, including Bitmine. Plus, there's a risk statement because investing is risky. You can literally lose all your money. Past performance does not equate into future returns, and I sure as hell am not your financial advisor. Okay, just FYI. I'm just a dude on the internet who's got some opinions that you guys like listening to. So there you go. Anyway, also buying some Bitmine stock, ARK Invest. They bought an additional 250,000 shares. Good, excellent. ETH. ETH. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Come on. Daddy needs to, I was going to say a new pair of shoes, but daddy actually needs this ETH BTC ratio trade to close out, ideally around $7,000 and get some nice cash and some nice Bitcoin back. That would be fantastic. Anyway, ETH right now is having a nice move. It's back up to the 200-day EMA. Again, that's the danger zone. We have to get through all these EMAs, get the structure of the market put back in the right order. Right now, everything's all jumbled up, right? The 20's under the 50. You know, it's not, you get the EMA stacked back in the right direction. 20 back over the 50. Good price action. Uptrends start, and then we can start, okay, uptrends here. Watch for 20-day EMA retest. Watch for 50-day EMA retest. Watch for the structure to eventually break after 4 or 5 retests, blah, blah, blah. You guys know how it works. We talk about this all the time. Here we go, though. 200-day EMA. Want to see daily close, ideally just above this would be nice. We have not had a huge amount of volume on the move over the weekend. Of course, you can see here. Only ones trading crypto right now are crypto natives. All the big institutional platforms are closed, but hopefully we see a lot of ETF inflows today with the markets for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ absolutely ripping right now. I would not be surprised to see some positive inflows coming back in. Solana, man, it's crazy. Did you guys look at how crazy that demand zone was? Look, you got 4 tests basically to buy Solana under 150 bucks. Very nice. Now I bought some more Solana throughout this period, including some more Solana this morning. Okay. Did I perfectly nail it at 147 bucks? No, but I got somewhere. I think my cheapest buy was around 152 or some shit like that. So anyway, not bad. Not bad. We got some nice additions put in here, but now, of course, we've got to get back over this area of previous price support. Now, acting as resistance, we have to go to the 20-day EMA, we have to go to the 200-day EMA, and 50-day EMA, of course, is sitting right here at this major downtrend junction here. Check this out. So the breakout from 190 will be the most significant move here. Until then, we've got a lot of worry on the way back up. Will we get rejected here? 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 Let's see. Okay. Pump fun. Not today. Not today, guys. Make sure, is this thing working? Can we turn this back on? Let's try again. MACD and the RSI aren't showing up here. It's just try to throw us on another exchange here. Why is that not working? Okay, anyway, we'll try another one. Pengu here having a decent move today, but still a lot of distance to recover here for Pengu. Why is Pump not loading? Oh, there we go. Okay. I thought that's what was going on over here. This is lagging. Something's going on with that. Anyway, besides the point, we'll just delete that page. Pump fun is not pumping massively, but we have things going on here that definitely are worth paying attention to. We can draw this beautiful line right here. So this beautiful line right here is telling us one very simple, easy thing. We are coming up against the key lines of potential breakout or rejection. Okay. MACD has just flipped bullish under the 0 line again. Fantastic. Alpha Cry says, massive Floki breakout incoming. Floki to the moon. Floki. Man, seriously, some of these meme coins are going to absolutely freaking nuts at some point. Just you guys wait for it. You guys wait for it. Okay, and there's a lot of pessimism on meme coins right now. Understandably so. But holy crap, when these things start cooking, they're going to cook like crazy. Oh, would you look at that? Oh, convenient, isn't it? Just a big fat triangle formation here on the pump fund chart. Let's look at the implications of this are absolutely bonkers, man. We're going to get a major move on pump when it breaks out of this descending resistance line right here. Okay, so my bags are packed. Okay, my bags are packed, ready to go. Cold-blooded Schiller, Litecoin gets to 135 is ignition time. We've talked about it many times. Cal says the LTC BTC chart looking pretty juicy. Monthly bull divs in play. Okay, this guy LTC about to melt faces. Now his prediction of $25,000 per Litecoin, probably a little bit overly optimistic, but I dig it, man. I dig it. You do you, brother. Bull post the shit out of this. Anyway, Litecoin's body key to just improved, merchant adoption rising, core metrics improving, is still trading like no one's noticed. So I am tempted to get a Litecoin position. I honestly am. You know, with the way Zcash, Naval, can somebody get on the phone with Naval Ravikant, tell him to say, hey, Litecoin's nice. Boom. There we go. Litecoin probably is going to have a big move at some point, okay? I consider myself getting a position here. I could see grabbing a, few thousand Litecoin or whatever. Wouldn't be that crazy. But anyway, chart not looking too bad right now. Of course, had a big move up from, it's so frustrating too. I should have just, anyway, should have flipped some of my existing bags of Litecoin back here. I was even thinking about some, like, Anyway, didn't do it. But I was looking back here. I think we talked about this on channels, like, guys, it's sitting at the 200-week EMA right now. If ever there's a time to bid Litecoin, it was then. Did I bid? No, because I was sitting in other bags. And my positions, it's not to say there's no cash in my crypto position, my crypto portfolio right now, but it's in places like in Maple Finance and stuff like that. And, whatever. Anyway, might have to flip an existing bag, buy some Litecoin. The way these Dino coins have been moving. Of course, a lot of them, Zcash and Dash and stuff corrected pretty heavily over the weekend, but a lot of stuff did. Litecoin, come on, baby. Come on, Charlie. Get out there and pump our bags, buddy. Haven't taken a position, but I'll let you guys know if I do, okay? Virtuals. They said, imagine being able to own a piece of the next robotics revolution. Virtuals, robotics. Man, I need to get more robotics exposure. Gosh darn, we're going to talk about that in just a second. But I need to get more robotics exposure. I really do. I've got potentials on the line for Figure AI and Apptronic pre-market equity. Valuations got pretty big, though. I don't know. It's kind of what makes me a bit hesitant about them, to be honest. But still, I might want to get them just because fucking humanoid robotics, guys. How can this not be? Am I mid-curving this? Tell me, okay, I'm an idiot sometimes, but tell me if I'm an idiot. Am I mid-curving like robots here? Like, is this not just going to be the most massive thing ever? Or is like the Wizard and the Ape sitting on the sidelines like, no, robotics going to be lame, man. No one's going to care about that shit. Like, how are humanoid robotics not going to be absolutely freaking massive? I guess the problem is trying to pick the winners right now, doesn't it? Now, I've got Tesla stocks. That's really my only major robotics exposure right now. I have Tesla. There's all these Chinese companies that are coming out. There's a few big American companies that are coming up with stuff as well. Nadix for robotics. Yes. Nadix and was it Oki, right? There's a couple of crypto robotics plays. I've decided to go down the virtuals route of doing that, but let's see what happens. Those other two, Nadix and Oki, AUKI, are much, much lower market cap compared to this. This is $1 billion plus. Those are tens or hundreds of millions. Virtuals chart looks like this. Nice bounce off the 50-day EMA. Now we need to push higher. AI6. Is Shaw going to take my money again? I think so. Let's see what happens here. AI16Z rebranding. This is the big AI play on Solana. By the way, we did breakdowns on AI16Z and on virtuals in our Discord group over the weekend. These coins are both pretty hot and trending right now. So we're trying to, as always, give you guys the latest, hottest information that we can find. It's in the Discord, link down below. Anyway, AI16Z just feels like a real gamble. And I said that when I bought it. feels like one of those like roll the dice, like we're either going to make a shit ton of money or just, they're going to take a bunch of my money again. One or the other. Probably fake pump. Lol. Is this another fake pump? Well, again, if you never know what happens. And like I said, we're at major areas where if there's going to be a rejection, it's going to be at these areas or very, very soon. So that's one thing to keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is rate cuts are coming, QT's ending, QE's coming, probably, according to Deutsche Bank. Stimulus checks are coming. A new Fed chair is coming. Okay, ETFs are going to keep flowing in. We have Solana ETFs. We're going to have dozens of other altcoin ETFs in the very near future. Trump literally wants to make America the crypto capital of the freaking world. All this kind of stuff's happening at the same time. The Crypto Clarity Act is going to be introduced into Congress by the end of the month and could get approved within the next few months. I mean, big things are happening here, guys. And maybe the approval of the Crypto Clarity Act in March or April or something like that could mark a major local top of the market. I could see it happening, couldn't you? Anyway, AI16 said, I guess I love abuse. Anyway, you guys probably saw this video. If you don't, check this out. This is the Xpeng robot. People were saying it looks too good. It must be a human in a suit, which we've seen some of the demonstrations being humans in suits and stuff like that. But here they go. They're trying to look. It's an actual computer in here. And this is where he cuts the leg open. You can see how well it walks. Look how well it walks. Of course, they made it look like a lady. These guys, you know what they're thinking about, these robots, man. Anyway, look how well it walks. It's absolutely crazy. So I've not taken a position in this yet. I can see doing it, though. That's the thing. I might. Allows me to take this is the thing. I could take a smaller position in this and put in, I don't know, some money, let's say. I could take a smaller position in this versus Figure AI and Apptronic. The minimum ticket size is quite large, let's say, which is fine. But also the flip side is like, it's a lot big pre-market valuations here on these companies. Anyway, Xpeng's worth like $20 billion or something right now with pretty good looking robot. Have not taken a position, may not take a position, but definitely keeping an eye on this. Chart's not looking too bad either. You can see here, this is the downtrend in effect since the highs back in March 25. By the way, you can buy this on the New York Stock Exchange as an ADR. So it's a Chinese traded stock. I think trades in Hong Kong, or I think Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Anyway, you can buy an American depository receipt, which is pretty much the same thing. Not exactly the same thing, but pretty much the same thing. Anyway, we had a nice wick up here at a $25 on Friday around sort of the news around the robot and their demonstration of it. Pulled back to 20% drop in a day basically for Friday trading. We'll see how this ends up here. Rejection at this downtrend line is not fantastic, so it might be some more time here to accumulate if you're looking for a position in that. Let's see though. James says it's a bull trap, man. It's a bull trap. The one thing that's kept me going, again, 50-week EMA defense, all kind of stuff, and why I thought that'd be a likely scenario is the government shutdown, of course, is going to end. We've just made great, very lengthy conversations about all the variances in that, and when they start shutting down the airports, it's usually the final catalyst. The straw that breaks the camel's back, and everybody has to go and make a deal, and that's exactly what happened, right? When are stimulus checks coming? I have no idea. Probably sometime next year, but there's not been any exact information on that. But yeah, anyway, continuing. Clean Spark, man, that thing sold off pretty heavily. My average entry is sort of up in this area here, so I'm probably 15-20% underwater on that. It's not a huge position, to be honest, but enough to make it interesting. Right back down here to the 50-day EMA. Trading wise, you want to see it get back above pretty quickly. I think it'd be one that I'm okay to hold for a while without worrying too much about the short-term trading and the charts and stuff like that, just based on the fact that it is a Bitcoin miner and they are transitioning into an AI play for data centers. So much like Iron did, but at a much cheaper valuation. Qualcomm, man, look at that. Perfect 50-day EMA retest. Crazy shit. Now, my bags are slightly under the water right now on Qualcomm, not by a lot, but like a few bucks. My sort of average entries were like 183 was my first buy, and then about some more in sort of mid 170 range. So we're, $10, 5% under or whatever on that. So not a big deal, to be honest. I think this one's going to be absolutely crazy. I think the market's discounting the fact that these guys are literally becoming a major NVIDIA competitor with their new chips they're bringing out. So long term, again, these are things I'm going to hold for years. Advanced microchips, micro devices, AMD. You can see, of course, it finally broke the trend line here. I was talking about this the other day. It's like, man, it's really held up pretty well in spite of everything that's been going on. But pre-market showing it back above the 20-day EMA. So with government shutdown ending, wind back in the sales of the market. Guys, if you're not on the newsletter yet, it's free. It's awesome. You should totally check it out. It's great. Stocks, crypto, prediction markets, meme coins, DGEM plays, trade setups. It's crazy. Huge value. Link down below. Go check it out. Okay, so I think it's red light hat time and sparkling water time. Let's do it. Petro King says, lol, they've been teasing a stimulus since last year, lol. Well, first off, Trump's only been in power since January 20th, right? So less than a year. I know it seems like longer than that, but less than a year. So that's one thing. Second thing was they actually need to start getting revenue in from the tariffs in order to be able to distribute it back to people. And there's been a lot of deals and things have taken time. So now we're at that stage where he could do that. December to repeat 2024. Good. Remember to take profits, guys. Last cycle, we peaked November 10th, 2021. We did. We're not at a peak currently. So I guess we're not going to peak on November 10th, 2025. I know I'm like a broken clock when it comes to all this stuff, but business cycle, according to ISM, PMI, and many other factors, has not topped. Macro conditions, whether it be rate cuts, QT ending, QE starting, stimulus checks, whatever else, shows risk-taking environments will continue. Very loose financial conditions, and they're getting looser. Trump wants to run it hot. Trump has attracted trillions of dollars of investment into America, which is going to create more economic turnover, more jobs, all that kind of stuff, okay? XPLTA, please. Yeah, let's do that. Why not? Sounds like a good time. Let me find one here. XPL. Let's bring up a chart here. XPLUSD. Plasma. Look at it on Kraken. That seems like a good place. Oh, this thing is still beat up. Gosh darn it. Now, we find some silver linings here for XPL bulls. So, one, we got the downtrend breakout back on the 4th, 5th of November, actually. So tides are starting to turn here. And what's most important about the tide turning here, if you're an XPL bull, is that volumes have picked up significantly. Since 3rd November, we've seen huge volume spikes, okay? But the price has only really moved from 24 cents to about 31 cents, about a 40% move up, which is not that much for crypto. Currently sitting just below the 20-day EMA, which is at 35 cents. So if you're looking for a breakout trade, long the 20-day EMA breakout, okay? Not that far away, actually. Again, big volume spike here. Something's been rumbling with this. I don't know. For me, I chose ENA as my stablecoin play. It's currently down 50% from when I bought it. Fantastic technology. After the 10-10 crash, a lot of people started unwinding out of USDE, which again, wasn't Athena's fault. It was probably Binance's fault, or something happened on Binance. I was going to say like Binance was being listed or something like that, but something happened on Binance that led to depegging of USDE and other assets at the same time, and problems have started since then. Why is XRP up by 12%? Why not? Why not? I haven't actually looked at the XRP chart in a few days. XRP-USD. Because everybody loves XRP. That's why. Look at that. Oh, that's a spicy looking chart. Look at that. Now, XRP, what a wild consolidation phase on this coin. You can see here, July 25 ran from 220 up to 368. Man, I should have taken profits on that. I was looking at it. Didn't quite get to my take profit target, but should have just got out here when I saw it turning over. Anyway, didn't do it. Ended up getting broke. Stopped out on it. It's fine. It's fine. Fine. Just round trip some profits. All good. Once this thing starts cooking, you see it goes through huge consolidation phases, right? Once this bad boy starts cooking, it cooks hard and it cooks fast, okay? You can see when these major breakouts happen from these major consolidation periods, XRP just absolutely rips. Now, you have to keep in mind it's a $150 billion asset or something, so don't expect it to just like rip a 10x or something like that. But can it rip from here to $5 or something? I would not be shocked, especially if we get the adequate risk on season. But right now, what we're looking at, okay? Draw my downtrend line out here a little bit. 20-day EMA taken out in today's candle. Volumes are relatively low though, okay? You want to see more volume stepping in here. Currently at the 50 and 200-day EMAs right here. Again, you want to see more volume stepping in to get a confirmation of a breakout here from the 20-day and the momentum to get over these key EMAs right here. Otherwise, risk getting rejected at these and coming back down to the 20-day and potentially losing it, okay? Also watch for this right here. This is the major downtrend line that has been in effect since, okay, July. That'll be the big breakout consolidation. When we break out of that, that's going to be a significant move here for XRP coming in, okay? Right now, it's just intraday noise. Up 12%, great, but anyway. Lark suggesting a directional mic tilted towards you. There you go. Yeah, I move it around a lot. Thanks for the reminder. Usually have it about like that. It's like that right now. There we go. Have you done any research on XYO? Nope. Yes, take profits around trip 40K last year. Remember to take profits, guys. When everybody seems like genius on the timeline again, might be time to start thinking about the exits. Okay. Starknet up. Usually, one of the founders also worked on Zcash. I've seen that. These sort of relatively useless layer 2 governance tokens coming back. Now look, Starknet, at least you can use the STRK token for gas on the chain, but I don't think exclusive. I think you can also use ETH. Well, the ZK Sync, they brought out, well, we're going to burn fees, which currently there's fuck all fees to burn, but hey, they're burning fees. Same with Linea, like, oh, we're going to burn fees from the revenue on the chain, but like, yeah, but you guys aren't really making any money, so it's kind of irrelevant. Anyway. Can you make videos on possible profit-taking strategies during a true altcoin? Yeah, when we get it, we will. Right now, it's going to be in one ear, out the other. We'll make it when it's more relevant for sure. Hello from Log. Good evening. Good evening, Julio. 3 a.m., man. That's late. You're just getting back or just waking up. Either way, good morning. You take a look at Cardano, the beard coin. Let's go. Look, I haven't actually looked at Cardano charts in a few days, so it's going to be interesting. I have no idea what's going on with Cardano. Oh, fascinating. Fascinating. Here, look here. Looks like a lot of the majors right now, which is, anyway, it's interesting, isn't it? Right back up to the 20-day EMA here. Of course, it's been a downtrend like everything. It's one, Zcash and a few of the privacy coins were the ones that bucked the market trends. Right now, 20-day EMA, 60 cents. That's the breakout point. You don't want to get rejected here. It is the thing. It'd be super lame to get rejected here for all these coins, not just for Cardano, for Solana, for Ethereum, for Bitcoin. Okay, because that's all that's really been happening is that we have these rallies up to the 20-day EMA and get really rejected each time. There's so many positive macro tailwinds right now. It'd be very frustrating, but also not unlikely to see a big rejection here at the 20-day EMAs on all these coins. So if you're watching for a breakout trade here on Cardano, wait for a breakout confirmation as a daily candle close above the 20-day EMA. Okay? I'm a pretty huge profit in my Bitcoin, believe it or not. My Solana, but that's about all I have anymore because I got so scared. I condensed everything down. Now I'm feeling like I've cut my chances. Well, it depends on how much you want to make, right? And what your risk tolerance is and how much you're willing to have sleepless nights over your altcoin bags and all kind of stuff. You know, Bitcoin's going to go to $1 million in 10 years or something like that. Can you wait? Solana's probably going to go to $800 to $1,000 this cycle. Probably not a bad spot for taking money off the table. And I don't know how big that position is. If that position's sizable, that's not bad. Now you're going to say, well, yeah, but I could have moved that money down into, you know, random coin number 72 and made 10x instead of 3x. Yeah, true. But you're taking more risk. Will Cardano become relevant again? Well, you know, one thing that's really going to help Cardano be more relevant is the price going up. Now, I don't think the price deserves to go up, personally. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it because the thing, network realities of Cardano are just shockingly bad considering the market cap, but it doesn't matter. It's a altcoin. People love it for one reason or another. They just need to rename it Beard Coin and just be done with it. Charles, what are you doing, man? Stop playing games, okay? You know what everybody wants. Just take away the Cardano name, rename it Beard Coin. Okay, how many men have beards in the world? A lot. How many women like men with beards in the world? Also a lot. Beard Coin, man. Beard Coin. Anyway, numbers going up always make technology feel better. Is Pengu still a good hold? I still hold my Pengu. I still think that it's going to do really well. Meme coins, more broadly, have not been performing. They will, but they're not right now. Okay? There is no uptrend. Not yet. Not yet. I agree. Not yet. We're in downtrends across the board for the majority of coins. We're at major rejection points, potentially, or breakout points. That's the thing. Every uptrend starts from a bottom, and every uptrend that starts doesn't look like an uptrend. To confirm an uptrend, what do you need? You need a decent breakout. You need some structure to start forming up. You need to take out the previous, lower highs and all that kind of stuff. Yes, right? We got some work to do. We're moving in the right direction. Let's see what happens. I'm not a Cardano holder, but it's going to fly because it's ISO compliant, American made, and connected. I could see that. Why not? Enjoy your shit, Adabag, says Rob. You know, this is the thing. A lot of stuff in crypto doesn't trade based off of fundamentals. In case you haven't figured it out right now, we have meme coins that are worth billions of dollars or have been worth billions of dollars. Fartcoin went to 2 billion. Come on. We don't trade in fundamentals around here. We trade on narrative. Okay? And if Cardano gets the right narrative, then it doesn't even matter that nothing happens on chain. There's no stable coins and no real daily user volume. All that shit's irrelevant. No one's really using XRP all that much either. Okay? Nobody was using Zcash a month ago, and the only people using Zcash now are people probably moving old bags around and sending it to exchanges to sell or buying into distribution and pulling it off exchanges and putting it in their wallets, whatever. But it's not really anything happening. It's not like people started magically using Zcash for payments a week ago. No, that's still the speculation. But the narrative was right. And that's sometimes all that matters. I do not currently hold any dog with hat. Again, you guys can always see my current portfolio holdings down below in the portfolio disclosures. I think so what I've done, I've consolidated all my meme coin bags into one, which is Pengu right now. I don't know if that's going to be the right decision in hindsight, but I like Pengu. I think it's got a nice mix of things that could see it do pretty well. But it's all speculation, as always, when it comes to these meme coin things. Fartcoin is better than Pengu. Them's fighting words, man. Because, I would not fade Fartcoin, to be honest. It has had in the past such high mind share. And it's so stupid and absurd that I could see it. I really could. I could see it making a big comeback. Can you take a look at World Liberty? Yes. A coin I have not thought about. And honestly, it's a big pump today, isn't it? Honestly, investing in the Trump family coins just feels like, I don't know, some kind of crazy train I don't really want to ride, to be honest. Gosh, is this all the way back to this? No, let me try to find if we have a little more. I guess this was day one trading, wasn't it? 23rd of August. Pretty steady downtrend since then. I mean, it's nothing surprising. That's what most coins have done since that period. The thing is, though, and this is, you see a lot of altcoin charts are starting to have these kind of moves. We're in a downtrend breakout right here, and actually a downtrend breakout today on heightened volume, as you can see. Okay, let me just point that out for you here. Heightened volume right down here. So you can see a nice volume spike today on the move. 20-day EMA taken out, downtrend taken out. Price has moved up to the 50-day EMA, currently struggling to get back above it, but that's a pretty epic daily candle, 30% or something like that move. Not bad. Not bad, right? Am I going to buying this? No, I don't know. Definitely I think World Liberty Fi can run, but just, I don't know. Just something I don't like about it. Anyway, besides the point. Why is near pumping? Well, near pumping has to do with the explosion of near intents. INTNTS, not like people intents, but like intents, like things that they intend to do on the chain. This in part has to do with what's going on with Zcash. I'm not a full expert on the situation here, so just keep that in mind. It has had a pretty epic move here from $1.70, almost 100, 320, yeah, almost 100% move here from the absolute lows of the market. Taking out the key EMAs, charts looking a lot better than a lot of charts right now, but because of the explosion of intents, so moving Zcash back and forth and stuff like that, and EVM intents and whatnot, because of that, we've seen a huge explosion in use over on Near. So is this going to be enough to completely change the fate of Near and have it go to the moon? I mean, look, Near has remained, and I always said this about Near, even though I don't hold a bag of it anymore. I always said this about Near is that as a blockchain, it punches way above its weight in terms of attention that it gets versus the actual number of users and daily transactions, all kind of stuff on chain, because it is right at the top and has been for a while in terms of daily traction. Look at ENS. ENS USD. Any light at the end of the tunnel? Let's see here. This is just one of these coins that I just never really think about or cared about. It's a governance token, right? And there's not really anything it does besides just being a kind of useless governance token, which, look, will it pump at the right time in the market? Sure. Look at the chart. The chart doesn't look terrible. It's been in a pretty brutal downtrend since August 10th, right? But it does, for some reason, the price does pump. It's been a very, very, very clear downtrend here for a while. You can see just a nice succession of moves to the downside. And here we are. There's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 approximately 20-day EMA retests. Now, here's the question. Is today or in the near future the days when this 20-day EMA right here gets taken out? Now, usually these downtrends or uptrends have 4, 5, 6, 7 tests, right? Where they'll come back and test the 20-day EMA before changing direction and reversing the trend. Same is true in an uptrend, same is true in a downtrend. So this kind of had a speed run of all those tests and stuff like that, because it's only been since August that it sort of had the local top and then the major move down. I don't know, man. Useless governance token doesn't really do anything for me, to be honest. Looks like a lot of charts in crypto. I think there's a lot of better narratives out there in crypto right now, to be honest. What is this? Lark, do you support a rent control freeze on Bitcoin in order to make it more affordable for low-income crypto investors? No. You got to be fast. Buy more, guys. Not financial advice. Buy more. That's hilarious. That's hilarious, man. Good one. I appreciate that. Lark, your clock is not working. What clock? We got a clock. We got a watch here. What clock? What do you think of Brett? Brett was the biggest meme coin on base. I wouldn't necessarily fade the Brett crew. In terms of meme coins, I don't know. Probably better meme coins out there. Let's see. I think real world assets will pump for robotics. What are your RWA plays? I don't really have any RWA plays right now. Maybe I should go back into Plume or something like that. I haven't actually looked at the chart in a while. Let's look at the chart. I like Ondo Finance. Here's the thing. Ondo Finance just pumps anyway. Doesn't matter. It has zero use case for the token. It just kind of pumps because it's one of those things that pumps. Oh my God. Well, if I am going to rebuy my position in Plume, I'm getting it at a 50% discount today, guys, compared to where I sold it at. Holy crap, man. That's crazy. Yeah. Let's see what happens. Ondo, Plume, definitely a much lower cap, higher risk. Let's see if they make it kind of play. Ondo Finance is absolutely the leader in this category. Chart's looking actually pretty decent. Look at that. It's funny. When we were charting this back here, I was like, hey, guys, this is this ascending triangle. We're going to hope it breaks out to the upside. It's going to be awesome. And it's got a huge implication for the price if that happens. Of course, that's not what happened. We instead had a 40% price breakdown. Almost exactly perfectly. Don't tell me TA doesn't work. It just didn't work in our favor that time. When you see these kind of triangle patterns as an example, it's like, okay, the odds favor an upside breakup, as I say, in like poker, right? We're not gambling, we're investing, okay? But it's a game of statistical odds, right? In this situation, the odds did not work in our favor, and the breakdown still happened, but the technical target of the breakdown actually got hit, which is super fascinating. Anyway, besides the point. This trades really on narrative alone. The token doesn't really do anything. It's a useless governance token, which you guys know I'm not the world's biggest fan of those. But the chart actually looks pretty saucy here. Have a look at this bad boy. You can see nice downtrend here. I don't really want to cut through those candles there, do I? Not the strongest downtrend line. We got the 20-day EMA here where we've had let's say 2, 3, 4, fifth retest now on 20-day EMA, potentially breaking out. Daily candle attempting to close over. Now, if we get a daily candle close over the 20-day EMA, the first time that's happened since the 6th of October. If that happens, we could be seeing a reversal come into play here. And you see a situation, it's a classical downtrend chart. All the EMAs are stacked in exactly the wrong direction. Okay, so really you want to say the trend needs to take back over and go crazy and start moving up for big moves. You got to reflip them all. So you got to get the 50-day back over the 200, 20-day back over the 50 and the 200. Then we'll say, okay, nice solid uptrend in play here. Until then, this is a very downbeaten chart, like most charts in crypto, and we need to see a reversal come into play. Okay, which might be happening now. Let's see. Volumes are not huge on this move, which brings up a little bit of caution, potentially is warranted. But still, if you like RWAs, Ondo is really the leader, even though it doesn't have a real use case for its token. Adam Howard, November 8th, Cadena hard fork was successfully executed. You underestimate the unbreakable things of the fuse. Yeah. I mean, literally the Cadena company or foundation or whatever closed up shop and left. But hey, man, it's like I always say. I wish nobody ill will on their bags. I really don't. I want you guys to make shit tons of money. Cadena, still listed around Binance. It's always so funny, isn't it? See these coins. Adam, man, I'm rooting for you, dude. I really am. I want you to win. Sometimes it's over. I mean, look at this chart currently. Everything else is bouncing back. Everything else is currently trying to recover. A lot of their coins are making moves and kind of doing stuff. Yeah, I mean, great. Good for Cadena for doing the hard fork. Yay. Okay, great. I hope the community wins, Adam. I do. Don't misunderstand me. When I say critical stuff about crypto coins, I'll shit in my own bags all the time. Don't worry. Ask me to shit in my bags. I'll be the first one in line to shit in my bags. When I say critical things about a coin, I'm not wishing you to lose money. I would never wish that on anybody. Okay, I want you to fucking win, Adam. You need to understand that. And if the community's like taking this over and they're going to make this big comeback story and it's going to be fucking awesome. And just because the actual developers and foundation and stuff basically shut down shop and walked away, well, you guys came over and hard forked it and took it back. Market doesn't seem to give a shit about that currently, FYI, but it's massively, massively oversold and has been for a while. But man, no way in fuck I'd put my money into that. No way. Absolutely no way. Literally, the foundation walked away and abandoned it. And now you have a community-run effort at a hard fork, which, I mean, great. I wish you all the best. I hope that you succeed massively and come back here in a year or 2 years' time and see, look, 100x the money. I'll say, good for you, man. Why would I be upset about that? I'd be so happy for you. Because it's bullshit. These guys just shut down and walked away. But when you asked about previous, I said, look at the fucking on-chain statistics. It's a fucking ghost town. Nothing's happening. It's pathetic. Now, community takeovers happened. What's the next situation? Okay. Community takeovers happened. Now you guys have to go and compete with the biggest, most well-funded blockchains in the world for market share with very few resources. Good luck. Good luck, man. I wish you all the best. Like I said, I am not going to ride that train. Anyway. Focus on Bitcoin, mate. Everything else going to dollar, but not Bitcoin. We're talking thousands. Adam, I just don't care about it. It's one of those coins, just never think about it. Don't care about it. Yeah. Cardano will be the most incredible comeback story in crypto history. I'm praying for your bags, man. I really am. Like I said, if you make a shit ton of money, then great for you and everybody who's in on that, man. We want all coins to CSF Cardano. Oh, guys. Okay. You guys are awesome. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And I'll see you back here tomorrow for the next live stream. Peace.